Hey guys, this is Sports with Stone. The sports world likes to shock me. It all started in my second video when Mark Scheifele was suspended 4 games. I still haven't understood that. But slowly, bit by bit, the sports world has gotten more and more shocking. And this has got to be the most shocking thing I've covered so far. Matt Ryan has been benched. But it gets crazier, because not only has he been benched, but just a bit of review. I made a video on it, and we'll leave a link in the description. Matt Ryan was traded for by the Colts from the Falcons just this past offseason, after they decided to trade away Carson Wentz, who didn't even play that badly until the last game of the season when he let off all their playoff hopes and got them eliminated, in which case they decided to trade him, and then they thought they were upgrading when they went for Matt Ryan. And that has not been the case this year. Now, Wentz is injured now, so they're probably not 100% regretting their decision, because Matt Ryan hasn't been absolutely terrible. He's been fine. So, I think it was a downgrade, but it wasn't the worst trade in the history of trades. But, then now, they're benching Matt Ryan, who again, hasn't been playing that badly. I can name 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterbacks that are playing worse than him. And yet, for some reason, they're benching him. And not only are they benching Matt Ryan, but they are benching him for Sam Ehlinger. And I'm going to guess you don't know who Sam Ehlinger is. So, he was a 6th round pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. It's basically all to it. He's never played in an NFL game before. He was fine in training camp. He looked pretty good. But they have Nick Foles on their roster. If they're going to bench Matt Ryan, they should bench him for Nick Foles. And yet, no, they decided to bench him for Sam Ehlinger. In fact, in the first place, they shouldn't even be benching Matt Ryan. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. I know that Matt Ryan leads the league in interceptions. But do they really think a 6th round pick is going to throw less interceptions than Matt Ryan? I mean, seriously, and this team is 3-1. That's not a terrible record. One more win and they would be tied for the division winner. So they're in the playoff running. And yet they benched their starting quarterback for a 6th rounder? Makes no sense to me at all. Like I've stated multiple times, I am just absolutely stumped. Like I said, this is the most shocking thing I've covered. Because I just can't figure it out. There is no side of this that even makes a bit of sense to me. It's not an upgrade. Nothing. They just finished trading away picks for Matt Ryan, and now they're going back and benching the guy they just traded for, and trade away another pretty good quarterback for him. I can't even make sense of this at all. You know who did do well, though? The Falcons. Matt Ryan has been playing not great. Now, he hasn't been as awful as the Colts seem to think, but he hasn't been great. He hasn't been what he used to be. I think he's just hit a wall. I don't think he can come back from this. He's just too old. Meanwhile, the Falcons signed an iffy guy in Marcus Mariota. No one really knew how he was going to play. He hadn't been a starting quarterback for 2 years. He just sat behind Derek Carr playing the occasional snap, but no one thought he was going to be very good. But Marcus Mariota has been playing pretty well. Way better than expected. Meanwhile, Matt Ryan is playing way worse than expected. So boy, did the Falcons win on this trade. Because they managed to trade away a quarterback at the perfect time. Get an upgrade that's younger and could be here for a couple more years. And maybe even develop Desmond Ridder, who then in turn could become the starter once Marcus Mariota leaves. I can't get over how well the Falcons have done in this trade. And trading Julio Jones as well. They trade him away. He was amazing. Top 15 receiver in the league. And then he goes to the Titans and is not so amazing. He does not play very well and gets released. And now he's with the Buccaneers, where he's kind of constantly injured and like the number 4 or 5 receiver on that team. So, boy, has this new Falcons regime definitely done amazing. So I think it's safe to say, though, that this could be the end of Matt Ryan's career. Because not only are they benching Matt Ryan for a game, Frank Reich said that Matt Ryan is done for the season. And not with an injury. They are benching him for the rest of the season. So the only way he plays is if Sam Ehlinger plays so terribly, or Sam Ehlinger gets injured. And even then, Nick Foles or Matt Ryan could be a competition for the backup job. But this is likely the end of Matt Ryan's career, which means that the Colts will likely be drafting a quarterback with their first-round pick. I'm not sure if they'll be high enough to get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. And maybe that's what they're doing. They're just trying to tank for C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young because they don't think they can make the playoffs. Seems a bit weird to me, but that could be what they're doing. But it's way too early. See, it doesn't make sense. None of the pieces fit together quite right. But I think they could still get someone like Will Levis or Grayson Call or Hendon Hooker or Dylan Gabriel. I think any of those guys would be interesting possibilities for the Colts to get. It's likely that they go for a quarterback who doesn't run a ton because they've shown that they don't love running quarterbacks. They had Peyton Manning, who obviously doesn't run. Then they started coming to the era of quarterbacks that do run, but Andrew Luck never ran. Then, once Andrew Luck retired, they had Jacoby Brissett. He'd run from time to time. But then they went back to Phillip Rivers, went back in time a little bit there. And obviously, he didn't run. Then they went to Carson Wentz. And he runs a tiny bit, but he's not a huge runner. He's no Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Jalen Hurts, or Josh Allen. And now you're on to Matt Ryan, another quarterback, just like Phillip Rivers and Peyton Manning, that will never run. Never. So, I wouldn't be shocked if they go and pick a more pocket passer, someone such as Will Levis, over someone such as Hendon Hooker or Anthony Richardson. So this could be the end of Frank Reich as a Colts head coach. Unless Sam Ehlinger plays amazing, he explodes, he plays like a superstar, he's the next Tom Brady, then I suspect that it's safe to say that Frank Reich will be fired at the end of the season because the Colts aren't going to do that well. They're not doing that well already. And then without Matt Ryan and with a 6th round pick, I suspect it's safe to say that Frank Reich's job is done. But who knows? Like I mentioned, Sam Ehlinger could become the next Tom Brady. I doubt it. The chances of that are absolutely tiny, but you never know. So we'll have to see. But for now, thank you guys for watching.